What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj. Today, we're going to be talking about John Wall. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, comment an idea down below what you want me to talk about on this channel, this NBA channel. NBA ideas all are welcomed and considered. And of course, the gaming channel is back up. Got that link in the description, and it's on the screen as well. That's in the description. Now, right now, we're only talking about John Wall and not showing John Wall highlights and me reacting to the John Wall highlights, because I did that when Klay Thompson dropped 60 points yesterday, and apparently you guys didn't care because that was one of my worst videos in weeks. I mean, I had a streak where I was uploading videos of 1,000 plus views and shit like that, and then, you know, the last couple of days, I had a couple that was like 800, but that one, I mean, it's at like 300 right now. And I was like really puzzled because I thought that one would do actually better, because the first reaction video I did decent. But anyway, that's besides the point. Not really, kind of, just because it means that I'm not reacting to the John Wall video, and I did actually watch the highlights, and they weren't nearly as impressive as the Klay Thompson one. Maybe it was because that team didn't win, and that brings me to the next point here. John Wall's efforts being wasted is just one problem for this team. That's not the only thing that's wrong with the Washington Wizards right now. And it kind of reminds me of DeMarcus Cousins in Sacramento. If you've been here for a while on this channel, and I don't even think this was that long ago, but I made a video within the last month, likely, about DeMarcus Cousins and why he needs to get the hell out of Sacramento, and they need to get him the hell out of Sacramento. Basically, I want the Sacramento GMs to wake up, Vlade Divac, do your job for the first time ever, and make a good move and trade DeMarcus Cousins. Because, you know, why wouldn't you trade DeMarcus Cousins? You literally have no reason not to. You're not going to build a championship team around him. It's not happening. Just stop, rebuild, and do something. I mean, honestly, there were talks about trading John Wall for not for DeMarcus Cousins, but trading for John Wall so you could have Wall and Cousins on the same team. That would be pretty crazy, but I don't think that's going to happen. That seems pretty far-fetched, and it's interesting because that would actually make sense, because both of these teams can just tank because they're not going to do anything this year. They're both around the same record. But think about it. John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins on the same team would make sense. Whether it be on the Wizards or on the Kings, I think it makes sense because now you have more star power, you have more attraction for other free agents to go to that spot, wherever they choose, and they're a better team. I mean, literally, you take two of those talents, you put them together, and you got a legit team, playoff team. And then add some role players, get some free agent pieces that want to go there now because you got two superstars on the same team, and boom, you can make a championship team. Now, neither of these teams want to trade away their guy, so one team will be taking a W, the other team will be taking maybe a long-term W by getting a bunch of picks, young players, and you're now rebuilding around your youngest players. So if it's the Wizards, it's probably like Otto Porter. Bradley Beal's kind of young, but I don't know if he's really going to get that much better. Now, for the Kings, it would be like Malachi Richardson and Willie Cauley-Stein. The Kings draft horribly. So the Kings can just have their franchise just die because it's horrible. I mean, you really drafted that Scal Labissiere, whatever. Look, okay, I don't know why I'm still talking about that. Anyway, the John Wall DeMarcus Cousins trade would be like a last resort, but it would have to be to the Kings, because if the Kings, I don't know. The Kings, no, it wouldn't, because if the Kings traded for new pieces, then they'd have those guys to build around. They can't build around their new guys because they don't draft anybody good ever. Besides Cousins, and that was like a very long time ago. So yeah, we're gonna talk about John Wall, and I don't know why it took me this long to get to the topic, but John Wall dropped a career high 52 points last night in a loss to the Orlando Magic at home, and this is kind of the Wizards in a nutshell. Quietly, very quietly, John Wall has been having the best season of his career, and that's saying a lot because John Wall has had some spectacular seasons in the past, but you can tell that he's a better player, and this is why. John Wall is averaging 4 more points than he did last year, and he's doing it shooting a career high 46% from the field and a career high 39% from the three-point line, also career high 82% from the free throw line. So he's got a career high in points by a lot, and it's not like he's taking way more shots. It's not like he's being any less efficient to get those 24 points, because he's actually being more efficient and making more of his shots from everywhere. So basically, he's a much better scorer, and he's taking advantage of it because he's shooting a lot of shots, and they're just going in. He's a better shooter now. John Wall's been spectacular so far. Don't forget the 9.8 assists and 4.2 rebounds. Those are also added into the equation. The 2.1 steals is a career high as well. So you know he's doing his job on defense. John Wall is just a very good all-around player that needs to have help. If you don't have help for this guy, you're really just wasting his career. It's kind of like DeMarcus Cousins, like I said before, because Cousins is another guy who's all around. He can do it all offensively. He rebounds well for a center. He's a guy that can do so much, but he has no help. And no matter how many points he can put up per night, it's not going to cut it. That team's not going to be a playoff team unless he gets the hell out of there and they rebuild and they actually get some new general management. I could complain so much about Sacramento's general management, it's not even funny. But we're talking about John Wall. This team that he's on is not cutting it. He drops 52 points last night, and this isn't like the first time that John Wall's had a great game and this team's lost. They're 7-13, and John Wall's had an absolutely fantastic season. Bradley Beal's been healthy for the most part, so you'd expect this team, they've got their players. It's not like they're really missing pieces. I don't think they're missing anyone, because you still got that starting lineup of Wall, Beal, Porter, Morris, and Gortat, which is that's their starters, and that's not a bad lineup on paper. Think about that. Otto Porter, he's actually having a really good year as well. Gortat, he's having a decent year as well. I mean, I don't get it. What is going on in Washington that it's literally impossible for them to overachieve and get into the playoffs? I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. There's so many teams either on the bubble or in that 5 through 8 seed that are just so close together, and it's not the Wizards. The Wizards are way behind all of those teams who are trying to contend for a playoff spot. They're down with the Heat and not quite the Nets, but they're not even close to teams like the Bulls and the Bucks and the Pistons or whatnot. All those teams that are just up in that bunch. It's not like they're down there. So I don't really understand this. It doesn't make sense to me. But last season the Wizards failed to make the playoffs, and John Wall averaged 20 points and 10 assists, and he was a beast throughout the year. They didn't make the playoffs since 14-15 and 13-14, back-to-back seasons where they won in the first round and lost in the second round as road teams coming in. They were a 5 seed both times, and they won in first round series. So this team can play in the playoffs. We know that. They can play on the road in the playoffs. We know that. But to be quite honest with you, I don't know what happened. I mean, they lost Nene and Paul Pierce. Those are two key pieces, but Paul Pierce isn't. I don't know how key he was for them. I mean, I guess he was good in the playoffs, but in the regular season, I'm not sure how much he really contributed to that team. Maybe he brought maturity, a winning culture. Maybe their coach just sucks. They got rid of a bad coach and got a new bad coach or something like that. Otto Porter's gotten better, though. Otto Porter's having a better season than Paul Pierce did when he was on that team, I believe. And Nene, I don't know. I don't think he was that. We always knew Wall and Beal were their two impact players, and Wall is playing out of his mind this year, and he's scoring 52 in a game efficiently with 8 assists, and it just still doesn't matter. And they're playing against the Magic. It's not like they're playing against the Raptors or the Spurs or the Clippers or some good-ass team. No, they were playing against the fucking Orlando Magic, who are not a good-ass team. I don't know, man. It's bad. The John Wall situation, I don't understand it. The Wizards situation, they should be a better team, and they're just not. They have the pieces to be a good team. The players that are playing good. I mean, I don't know. It's a mystery, man. All right, so if you guys know, if any of you know about this and want to hit me up and tell me why the Wizards are so bad and why John Wall's great numbers and performances aren't doing him justice, hey, feel free to do that because I'd love to hear y'all opinions. And yeah, That's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, an idea down below what you want to see an NBA video on. Subscribe if you're new. I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.